Hello? Hello? Well, at least I've still got my voice. So I've been so humble for so long that I've been turned into a nun. Let that be a warning to you, right? Let that be a warning to you. If you do better than all the people who blab about how brilliant they are, and don't also blab about how brilliant you are, you'll also get turned into a nun. Echo, 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 echo. Hey, Echo. Are you sure you haven't got 2 copies of the stream open, sir? Woohoo! Welcome to the show, okay? So, in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, Amen. We'd like to thank the Lord for price action today. You know, whichever Lord you've got, right? We thank you for the price action today, as it wasn't negative 1.4 something percent on SPY 386. You know, we've managed to come back from that 378, 380 area. We haven't managed to break above 200 period on a 4 hour, nor have we got above the previous level of support, which was 388, really. So you're looking for the 388 on this move, 391. That would be exciting. Open and close above the 200 period moving average in 4 hour without having it 391. Maybe you go on to afterwards. You know? So that's what we're looking at. You know, it's just like typical. You would find a bounce at this area. The height of this oscillation isn't really all that important. You know, you've already had a retest of the horizontal, the diagonal, and the moving averages. At this stage, it probably just, you know, fails at any moment. It could slowly creep on up and test those previous levels. And we've got the gap above, which we keep pointing out, around 425 to 430. You know, that's the extreme level that SPY could go to. It would take some sort of catalyst to get there, because we've failed so many times at these important, like this was the first time, second time, third time, and then a rejection beyond support. You know, you're going to, like, the idea that you get through there with a massive fight now is ridiculous. There'll be loads of orders there, and then, you know, so that speaks to the unlikelihood. None shouldn't be speaking like that, TraceBotting. Speaks to the unlikelihood of getting up to these levels. You know, until such times we've done something important down below. None GME, that's me. And as the system just jumped in, thought you had none custom on. None costume? No, I am a nun. I'm a real nun. It's a mix, but I was quite clear at the time, but obviously my thoughts were a little bit muddled, because I was thinking, yes, turn me into a race car driver. And then I was like, no, turn me into a knight defending the, you know, that thing from Indiana Jones with the cup and whatnot. I'll be that guy. And then I was like, no. And then, because that looks a little bit like a nun. And just as I was thinking that, obviously it happened, right? The wind changed. Mother GME. Yes, you got Mother GME. That's me. So you call, I'm your mommy. TraceBot, looking for a retest around 382, 383 before bouncing back up. Thoughts? 382, 383 retest. I think possibly, yeah, I mean, you could get that before bouncing back. It's on the way at the minute. It's the rejection that you'll be looking for first. Where does it reject from? Down in a 15-minute time frame, you've not yet managed to hit that 200 period moving average. A little bit of a gap. I would expect that would be filled before any crazy takeoffs, that's for sure. So if you are thinking SPY's bullish, then you would still be looking for a retracement back down. 50 simple 15-minute time frame would also be closing that gap, coming around 382. It's very difficult for me to see, like, over there. Do you know what nuns are like? Very rarely do you find a nun with really good eyesight. Ha! I'm cursed. You look like a race driver. Thanks, John. That's brilliant. I love you, SPX. Oh, SPX, SPX. You want the extra decimals, do you? You over in the extra decimal land? Well, down here where we've got a SPY, we've got a we love the old 382 level. Colin's right. That's a good area for a retest. And I mean, if like anyone who's talking about SPY breaking these levels, is looking for this, and to be looking for this, having done that 1, 2. You know, and like I could go back and show the other one. We've already seen it though. Then you'd be like, why would you? That'd be crazy, right? It would be, despite all the other potential things on the go. 30-minute time frame, everything looks quite good there, right? But then continuation divergence. There's a gap to aim for. 200 period moving average in at around 392, 393. Get back above 388, 395 would be your resistance. Previous 236, and that's also a Fibonacci, likely a golden pocket, which would give you your confluence there. You see. So in around the 395 level, right, you get back above that. Interesting. Wouldn't see it very much above 398 again. But then, okay, could keep saying numbers forever and ever. The one that looked to is just back below, retrace there. in and around the levels Colin was talking about, maybe a little bit further. And in no way is this the bottom information. Sure, you've got a touch of bullish divergence at the bottom, but this oscillation is very weak. Continuation divergence, and it looks like it already wants to fall over again. Haven't done it yet, but what I would anticipate with SPY is something more like, get it up on a 2-hour time frame. This is not it's not got my drawings. Why is my drawings not on this? Where am I drawings? That's not what I'm looking for. Yo. I had drawings that marked all the next breakdown levels. Where are they? Not these, the arrows and all. Where do they go? They're so annoying. Maybe it's a different chart, but it isn't. It's this chart. Where is it? So, yes. What I was trying to point out there was that we've had a 50% retracement so far over here, hit the 378 sort of target, and found support. We anticipated a bounce from there, and the strength of that bounce isn't really where our focus is on, because we do anticipate it breaking back down again. It's just watching and seeing what happens, really. Waiting for the breakdown is really what I'm thinking. I'm not actually doing SPY itself at the minute, so that's the way I look at it. But if you're looking at it bullishly, I'd say you need to break that 200 period moving average. You need to get above 392. You need to target 395. Break that 50 simple on the 4 hour, and if you do, find support at the 200 and go on around 390. That's 200 period moving average, and then you'll head up then possibly and test those previous levels that we got rejected from again. Having had 2 touches and coming at a 50% retracement, it's fair enough to think, right, that's the extent of the move. We'll see what it does. I'd still be measuring it and looking for it to break these prior highs. Before I was bullish, even then, I'd only be taking 425, and I really wouldn't be. I mean, my focus at the minute is this thing having put in a clear rejection and a strong move away from what was its previous potential support level within that formation, and it's breaking down now and putting in and rolling over similar to these oscillations here, breaking both of the moving averages. If it manages to like get stuck below that 200 and won't even make a reaction like this, and you could see it go on and make a further lower low in around these levels. Could be terrible. Could be terrible. If you're looking for it to break up, there's levels, you know, that first one is like 395, 392, 395. Truth is, that's not bullish until it breaks back above 410, and even then you're limited. So to 425, 430 level. So it may be, well, there's more chocolate on your biscuit looking to other things to trade at the moment. That's my personal take on things. Other people have their own one, obviously. You know, this from my own head. You know, don't find this information on the internet or not. Can't Google what's in GME's head. You know? No, it's all pure thoughts. All pure thoughts. I swear to God. I can do that. I can do that now. I'm a nun. Right. Right, so that's SPY. You know, a quick touch on SPY is like, it's a little bit lackluster. Truth, right, it's done not very much. You know, we thanked the Lord above for the positive price action, but we hit support and we got not much of a reaction. And in truth, you would be like, down here in the 15 minutes. I did drew something on there, didn't want to. Go away again, then. Go away then, thanks. Maybe looking at this, saying, what's the retracements looking like if it gets back below that important level there? What is that? 385, which is kind of where it's close to at the minute. 236 will be broken, probably does come in, fill the gap, test the 50 simple and a golden pocket retracement. Boom, back down. 381. That's the sort of thing you're looking at, Colin, at that stage. If it does bounce to the upside, interesting. I'd like to see it back above this high that it's put in. Could also be a bull flag, in which case you're aiming up. First target again, 393, 395. Anything above that gap and so on, but it looks tough to get there. Looks tough to get above there, so it does. That's what I'd say. So that's what I'm thinking of SPY. Thanks for the very good question. Ghost, Jink Ghost. Well, it's our friend John. We'll have a quick look. What? Not seeing it. Neil, don't tell anyone. Neil. Ghost Neil. Do they do DIY? And do they do it quietly? And do they not leave the job half finished with holes in your house? So you can't have a whole house over Christmas? That's what this would nail. So what's this like? Monthly? Wow, it's been... Total absolute nightmare for the people running it, the people investing in it. Absolute nightmare. But from those few people who decided to buy it in 2020, took you back to this nightmare scenario where all these other people were, and then dumped again. Right, so Neil, home builders, building some homes. You think they're going to be building a lot of homes and making a lot of money in this secondary inflation environment? That's interesting. Trade spotting, are you none? Hamax! Oh my god, Hamax! You see? So it's fact. And when any three of you gather together and I'm preaching at you, remember that. I'm the nun, alright? So you're like, Trace, but a little bit preachy. Well, yeah, it's my job. I'm very good at it. In fact, I want to raise God. I don't just... Hey, like, come on. So, that whole mostly wick there, well, I mean, it isn't, because look at the state of it, but, you know, strong reaction from that level. We'll go to weekly because it's not all that long it's been around, so we can get a weekly, and monthly is sort of useless. There's nothing that's happened on this that could be considered a strong trend. People would tell you this was, but then there was no oscillations within it, and then the retracement was right back down at the bottom of it again. So this is just ranging. Always ranging. Right, so it's not the Wild West, it's home builders. Home builders trade spawning, it's not. That's a 1.1 free extension for the high. Rat, and then it was bearishly divergent, I imagine. Yes. Go away, drawing. Horribly bearishly divergent. Head and shoulders, failure swing. Oh my god, you got a lot of get out of dodge signs there, didn't you? Yes, is the answer. Yes. So at this stage, what? I mean, like, those are the different ways. What do you mean, what? I mean, I'm talking to myself there. It's like I'm talking to you guys. Anyway, so it went through that 236. That was an important level. See that, yo? At which point, 50% retracement on the card, golden pocket potentially. Looking up for the confluence. Here's the 50% from this guy. This is still then the dominant fib, but the body's closing here. And the golden pocket retracement matching up with this 382. If it does break down, then I'd say that likely a bounce here. Here. And it could easily do so because it's not a home building environment. You know, this isn't the sort of environment that's conducive to these sort of companies. The high inflation rate, secondary inflation, spiraling wage bills, and the price of commodities. It's like that's where you see the first bits of pain there from that inflation. So, mind you, if like Biden and friends are throwing money at them, right, then that's a different story. Here is this bullishly divergent class B, bullishly divergent low. Price action exceeded the 236 from this drop down. 50 simple went through the 200 on the weekly, and we're supposed to go down to the daily and see where the death cross came in. Tested the 50 simple, subsequently recovered it nowhere near the 200, back below again. 200 approaches it. This is our first test of the 200 since the death cross on daily time frame, really, and it's also a rejection so far. 236, then you have to hold that at 30, spot 30. If you do push up, your next target might just be somewhere close like 40. That's 30% price action. Pretty happy with that. If it was me, it's a very tradable move. Very tradable move. It looks like it wants to hold that 30 simple, or sorry, 236 in a minute. Strong move there without any touch into the overbought yet. Hold the center line here. That would be a positive move after that rejection from 236. Get back above that 200 at 33. The move is on. Anything above 40 prior high within this thing, and it loves to range. Loves to range. It's like nearly definite it's going to bounce off that. And if it doesn't, then you're asking to get more than $50 is absolutely bonkers. That would be not going to happen anyway. It's still going to bounce off 382, just is. And then the 236 in there around $30 again. Possible to test that. And I'd wait for the 50 simple to approach that support area, go through the 200 and look for a retest of price subsequent to that, because this is just like such a nasty death cross. Before I got extremely positive. If it did come back, test the 200, having broken it on a daily time frame, open, close, open, right? Body close, body close. Then I'd look for a move maybe as far as that and further. But without test of support, no. So, not telling anybody, keeping this a secret. 4 hour 50 simple has gone through the 200. You didn't get your overbought but you did get a touch of bearish divergence. You get back above the center line there. That's not bad. I'm not going to argue with that. There is a golden cross. Can't argue with that either. You're back above the gold. Can't argue with that. So it is all setting itself up. This is also coming back, like giving yourself a potential positive move. A lot of divergence there on the histogram. It's either a huge warning sign that this is going to break down or divergence, and it comes back again. And then I'd look for and take very seriously a failure anywhere around 37. If it failed and then at that stage lost 30, I'd be, get out of Dodge. There's no way you want to be anywhere near this thing at all until such times as it fills that gap and comes down, tests lows of around $20. So that's what I'd be thinking. Also, I think, like, you know, good help, right? DIY, that's not DIY, isn't it, when you're getting help? But it's good tradesmen. Hard to find, so they are. Hard to find. They all work for themselves, not for Neil. 32.12. Breaks 32.12, which at the minute you're above. Then maybe you're right, sir. Maybe this continues. Boom, 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 boom. Small time frames, maybe. Harder to have much faith in that. Looking at the longer term time frames, and there's a lot of continuation divergence here, which, despite this being sort of positive on price action, the 200 period moving average there, and this looks brutal on the RSI. Cross on the MACD as you're getting rejected from the 200. It's giving you a very good sell signal. Stochastics, if they collapse, then John, this is the very good short trade. If they collapse, small term times turn around, catch up with that trend on the big time frame. It's going to go in like a bank robber now. Get out your money. Welcome, John. Hello, sir. I was wondering if you could take a little peeky peek at Hida or Nvidia. I have looked at Hida and Nvidia recently, both looking very nice for potential short opportunities, as you mentioned with Nvidia a week or two ago. Good, right, all right. Look at that. Should have read the message. Tradesbot, you the best. Thanks, Space Cadet. Hello, Lucky Wilkes. Your money or your wife. Bread will do, especially if it's those Tiger Loaf rolls. Spot out today. Sure, tell you what, Tiger Loaf's the best. It's just cutting it up. It's like, you know, a job. It's like a job. You could actually have a career in slicing Tiger Loaf properly. They get them in rolls, and you don't need to do that. They're already pre-sliced, and Marks & Spencer's brilliant to do that. Right, so, you know, why don't you shop at Marks & Spencer? You poor person, you. Take my wife. Does it come with Tiger bread? Tiger Loaf. Thank you, Space Cadet. I am the best. It's true. I am actually the best at many things. I'm the greatest human being on the planet at those things. It's great. It feels great. It's brilliant. You can be too. All it takes is focus and dedication. Don't get distracted, and you can be the best at anything you want in the world. Anything you want, you can be the best at it in the world. Unless somebody tries to get in there and ruin it on you. There's plenty of them. Plenty of them freaking people in it. So we were moving off this trees, but interesting. You know, John, you could be right. You know, I mean, I'm not going to say you're wrong. Stochastics actually aren't doing anything bad yet, but this is the place they would tend to do bad stuff from. That was okay. So, you know, it does break back below. Very simple on the 15-minute time frame at 31.10. That'd be an early sign that maybe it was going to fill that gap, and after it then around 29. Any further than that, be negative. If it does hold those levels, you know, it's got another chance, right? It has another chance. The small time frames are okay. The longer time frames not okay. Quite bad. GME, GameStop. Have you heard the word about the bird? About the shark? If you heard the word about the shark, oh my God, look. About the shark. Now I am... Oh, now I'm a 2019 person. Remember we called it COVID-19, 2019? That's funny, eh? Should have got rid of that pretty quickly. Not the actual thing, obviously. It's still around, apparently. It's the other one. The 19 tag. Why did they get rid of that? Why did they put it on in the first place? That was very, very ambitious. We were very ambitious back then. We were aggressively optimistic. I like that, actually. I like that. So, yeah, it didn't work out, though. So, welcome to 2019. This is lovely. It's actually not. It's horrible. There's enough of that. Right, so now what am I now? Now it's like a cravat. Now I'm like a like a 17th century French duelist. Haha, yes. Anyway, right, I'm back. That's really losing it now. So yeah, people look at this, looks like potentially, inverted head and shoulders. So that's the sort of thing people say. As soon as anything that remotely resembles an inverted head and shoulder shows up, people do tend to start shouting about it. So let's shout about it. Let's do what they do. Whoa, my God, Gav, what can I go? Oh my God, I just say this inverted head and shoulder. Oh my God, I got something, right? And it looks something like that. I mean, it isn't. And then to your measured move would take you. I'm not going to draw it, but 21.15. What's that? 19.58. Let's just call that $2. And so $2 range. So you get back above 21, you'd be looking at 23. Right? Well, does that work out on the charts? Not really. No, not really. And is it an inverted head and shoulders? Not really. No, not really. A sloppy one? Well, till such times as it isn't. You can't say that it definitely isn't, but it doesn't look like it. And then on RSI, no, you've not got anything that suggests that would be the case. Lots of bullish divergence at the low. Now, lots of continuation divergence on these peaks. Easily could come back down again. Look bad if it broke below $20.05. Bad in that you would expect it to test these previous lows. Well, around here. Pardon moi. And, oh, look, John G. 99 cents. Thank you very much, sir. That's appreciated. Look at those little Christmassy things and stuff and such. That's nice. Thanks very much, John G. Appreciate. Thanks very much. Spin this motherfucker, says Treesbone. He knows. Take me to church. I will worship at the altar. I recognize that. Those words in that order. Bam, bam, bam. Aye. So, is that what you're saying? I remind you of the Hosier songs. There's a number on there. There's a number in there. So, they'll do a number on you, they wills. What were we talking about? GameStop. Lows. Yeah, came into these lows. This is fantastic. Would rather it bounced away faster personally. I like it because I bought some. So, I do tend to expect it to just jump the shit in hell away from where I bought it from because, should have known, right? Like, I'm out to get it. So, it should know, right? It should know. I'm out to get it. You think it would be right? Stop walking around my neighborhood like that with your swagger. Hello, Mr. Tretman. How are you? I'm very good. Jose Effective 02. How are you doing, sir? Hello? Everybody else, one nice guy. Jimmy, can you please look at you betcha I can. Hello, Donna. How you doing? Good to see you. You betcha I can. No worries. Take my wife. Okay, you got the. I'll get to that too, Pink Ritter. You got the postal address there for the wives. Right, flat Stanley them all the way across. Right, so this downward sloping trend, this horizontal, I mean, that you're asking for a lot now for 27. I mean, you're asking for a lot for 22.50. And that level that you got rejected from there, 20.88. Let's call that 21. $21 is the next place to beat on GME. It's also where we find a 200 period moving average from a 15-minute time frame. Now, 15-minute time frame doesn't give you anything reliable with regards to long-term trend, but you can see the start of moves here. You break above that level, 21.17, sort of, not really important. Then maybe you're heading for 22.50. A lot of confluence there. Previous support, now resistance, likely. First pass at that, probably a rejection. If we made it there very positive, you could start putting in the bottom information from that point onwards, and I'd like that. Right now, don't come back to my entry point and so on. That'd be brilliant. It'd be brilliant, though I'm not expecting that, because this is downward sloping trend, and we look for continuation as traders, so our eyes are still on these lows and the potential next extension of this at 18.58. Should it not hold $19 and change that previous level? If it breaks below there, then we can draw out further extensions from this section of the move. I'm not particularly interested in detailing the bearish case all that well, but so if it breaks down here 1958, and if you're looking for like long term, oh my goodness, is it terrible? No, it isn't. It could easily come back to 15, and all of that wouldn't necessarily defeat the idea of breaking back up again, because a lot of what we're doing here is centered around, like, part of it's this downward sloping channel, which obviously dictates potential to go lower and test the 2618 way down there at $15. But a lot of what we're doing is stretch this guy from this Fibonacci from this move, which all of this price action now suggests, and always has done since this move, that this is the dominant fib for the entirety of the big moves. And so like, it's not going to break any of that until such times as it breaks this structure. And that isn't happening for a long time, right? Long time, both in terms of actual time and price away. Like you'd have to break significant things with it. AMC has done this, right? Has broken those things. This is a distinct difference between those two charts, which I've put a heads up a number of times. Now, I'm not trying to draw negative comparisons. That's not my purpose. I'm pointing out things to help people become better traders, so you can resent the information if you want, but like it's not like I made it. So here is these lows, right, which is a horizontal level of support, and overall there's a lot of attention on them. The market over, like SPY, Colin says like, oh, hey, Red Squirrel, how's it going? Great to see you. Good to see you. The Colin was saying SPY is thinking, well, what, like this scenario for it to potentially start an oscillation back up again, and if that's the case, GME's come in to find a good level of support at a good time. That's what you would say in retrospect. That was made it easy for you, right? Everything was in around the low. If you were going to buy it, sure, it could be scary when you see these info that, but like you wanted to get there in order to get it, like I did. You're not then going to be like, I'm so scared. No, you wanted it to get there, so then you're happy. Obviously, there is the element of catching a knife and all the rest of it. Typically, you wouldn't do that when you're trading, but if you're looking at this and saying that's long-term support, there's reasonings. Anywho, right, the point I was trying to make there is, we'll just hurry up and go up price. But it is that this is not crazy. Price action testing these levels and bouncing away from it is like fairly rational understanding for a trade there. And then the overall structure is still fine. So it's also really, really desperately depressing go through this over time for everybody who I'm sure knows it. It's not been fantastic watching your money go that way. But unless you covered, which I was from 34. Woohoo, that was nice. So, not quite as much because, like I said, I bought more. But anyway, you know what it's like. So, right. So, price action, these levels, that was that extension. We were looking to get back towards the top side. We want to get back above the basis line of this downward sloping channel. And that would be also recovering a Fibonacci from this important move previously. Get back above all of these important levels. When you start hitting above $30, then you're targeting, very positive moves that would be typically the top side of oscillations. And does that come from here? Well, no, usually they come from the lower side of this channel. So while it does look good and SPY could oscillate up and there could be, little bits of moves that take us to 22.50, 25, maybe even 27 and change, which we previously, I would have said 30 this time last week, is the same now for 27 and change. Don't actually know what the open interest is, but that's what the charts say. Where's the open interest here? Just update this guy. Still says 30, and then you've got a big spike at 25, right? So like in the middle, 27.50. That's not the way that works. But like, well, I thought, oh look, this is a different chart I drew. Right, so this is also based on the idea of that potentially, you're coming for your target, like the first entry on a potential shark, and then you've got a number of targets on it. First one being 22.50, that sort of level. Make it above, you're looking for 24.50. That's really what you're looking at. I mean, asking for more than that in the face of disharmonic and our current price action, having tested the basis line of the channel, your next level would be top side of this downward sloping resistance. 28 and change at the minute, probably is 27 by the time price action reaches it. So that's handy, that other GME chart. Thanks. This was the one we were on. Longer term time frames, there's the bigger channel. The two sides, you're either going up, and that would be SPY going up as well, or you're going down, and that could be with SPY just hovering where it is. Which is what SPY kind of looks like it might be doing, even though GME found a little bit of a support. So we'll see if that bounces, turns into a reaction from support, and we come back to these levels, or if it's a reversal, and the impetus for that would be all of the things we've talked about, and we can measure it going back above those important support levels, resistance levels. We need to start the GME YOLO fund. I was thinking of making a YOLO story. I'm thinking about it a lot recently. I'm thinking very, very heavily that oil is going to turn down, that it's going to be, acute problems for emerging markets due to the FX situation and dollar being indexed in oil. And then there's even more problems with smaller companies who've only managed to make profit recently through operational utility, which has come like operational marginal utility come through operational performance, which is derived from economies of scale, which is only possible because of the current price of oil on the international markets. And when it drops, they're not going to have efficient production. they're not going to have efficient production capacity. And this is something that oil traders are aware of, have been for decades, the expansion, contraction in the oil industry and where these new companies tend to go, right? Big boosts at the start. And then when there's a dip in the oil price, you don't necessarily see it across the board because the big established names, they've got refinery production, downstream production. So they're like insulated, and they've also got like just raised the costs later on throughout the value chain. And then they claim back a lot of what's going on in the market. And the small companies that are only able to extract from certain wells or take oil from A to B because the price is so high at market, just take a few dollars off, their whole operation shuts down, and then their economies of scale reverse back to where they were 2017, 2018, 2019. And this country is going to get fucking wrecked, absolutely wrecked. And the massive opportunities. And then, especially in emerging markets, massive opportunities. So, it's really difficult for me sometimes looking around. I'm looking for these, and I'm like, whoa, this is it. Oh my God, I'm going to eat this. And then I'm like, nah, give it a few hours. There's probably other options. And and then I'm like, no, everything. And I'm that. And then, no. But I'm looking at it, and I know one of these days I'm going to fucking bite and eat one of them. Feel sorry for them because I'm not going to let go. Circling back on this and what GME is talking about on the Discord, the Beginner Traders Rocky and GME had a fantastic discussion with info regarding to this and oil bonds yield for those interested. You check out the Discord, Joe. Go on the Discord for sure. It was on public rooms too, so it was on the free side of Discord. You can get there if you go www.discord.gg. That's for Gary Gensler /Rocky Outcrop, and that's the free side of Discord. That was where all that discussion was, and there's plenty of stuff like that going on all the time. Whoop, squirrel. Whoop, whoop. Squirrel and president getting in on the fund. We could, I was thinking, was it a dream or was it a daydream? Thinking about my old funds. We've checked those tickers before. I'm not going to do that now. Jimmy, can you please look at BBBY and then get on to the other questions shortly? So, very difficult to argue with this trend. Price action touching the top of the bearish control zone of 2 hour useless time frame trades, but seen this, know this inside out. Don't really need the monthly time frame other than to say this is the starting price, 72 cents. This was an important inflection point here at $2 and change, and it could well be that that's still on the cards. 255 1.13 extension, got very close to that. Very close to that indeed here. Obviously not right on it. Down then, just the daily. These potential oscillations we've been talking about. This thing put in horizontal level of resistance. You'll notice this formation from other things we've been looking at recently, very recently. And then we had these 2 touches. This isn't really a third on this downward sloping support line, right? That's the words, right? So in around here, this point of control is where price action is now, just below it at 290. Daily time frame, currently a little bit of weakness in Bed Bath & Beyond, despite the fact that it's had a positive day on open to close. 4 hour time frame then. That does look rather large over there, doesn't it? At 4 hour time frame, downward sloping trend, tried this try to go up to the top side at that point in time. Body closes all below this 236, wicks only taking you towards the 382, and that's overall negative. You would expect continuation from this move. You're already done most of those extensions you'd anticipate. 1618 comes in here at 235. It'd be the first level to look to on a breakdown beyond that 1.13. Where was he at? 258, 255, and then 238, the next 2 levels below. And we could anticipate doing those sort of things. We've had this drawn on before. It could well come down and test this downward sloping diagonal. If it was to do that, it may well be at its own benefit to do that around $2, where you'd also meet a horizontal level, which you can't see why I've got that drawn on the charts now. But it's one of trades bottoms lines, and it's probably been there for a while, so Bed Bath & Beyond itself will be aware of it and probably wants to go there just because I've drawn it. Anyway, no, sharp trace one, right? So the previous lows here, 342, that would be if you were to move back up again, turn off the drawings to make this all slightly more clear. This previous low, this is where you'll be, is above price action at the minute, so if you do head up, that meet this before any technical artifact that's currently present on price action at the moment, where the 50 simple is then above that, right? So $4, and then the prior high within this formation, 425 is a wick, but actually your body closes 236 in this prior low in at around 342. That's the level to look to push to the top side on the daily time frame. And with this strong downtrend, it's ambitious, right? Even though it just doesn't seem to be from recent past, it is from where we are now. So again, these drawings just too much. Get out of my face, this guy. Sorry. Point of control, yes, talked about that. Touching your prior low there. Touch of bullish divergence, but you're still in the bearish control zone, and it looks like you're getting a negative cross in the MACD. Not from sort of place that it would be advocating for looking for this to move down, considering what's already been doing. And the price action's below the 200 period moving average. But the cross on the MACD is coming below the center line. If you're looking for a short, you want it above the center line, so that's not working. And I'm not saying you're looking for a short, I'm saying it doesn't speak to the sensible nature of going short from here. The risk reward on that is quite negative to very bad. Right, so volatility here, it's dropping there. Daily time frame, we're not seeing all that much anyway. 2-day, nothing out of the ordinary. 4 hour, potentially could move up a little bit, but all you can really say is that it's been quite low. So this is the last time you experience volatility similar to what you've got at the minute, and volatility being the dispersal of prices over a range. So the prices haven't gone through the start of a day to the end over a very large price, right, difference. It's going smaller and smaller and smaller, and the only time that it's done that in a similar formation was back here, and that led to a breakdown. So you can't necessarily be excited by the low volatility, but it does suggest a potential move was coming, and that one was quite big, from 22 down to, when did it stop? Around 13, right? So good 70-80% off price action. If you saw that, either side of price at the minute from 272 would be, what's that, up to $4.53, the 382, this prior wick, that sort of level. So again, you'd be putting in a smaller version of what you've already got here with the downward sloping broadening wedge, with the support it's getting lower and lower, and resistance always at the same level, never managing to break above it, and that'd be a bearish formation within a bearish formation, when price action's behaving very bearishly with regards to the 200 period moving average and of all of its own previous resistance levels, and also its potential support levels and rejections at all the Fibonacci levels, and all conforming to a downward sloping trend, which is present across every single time frame, and every indicator giving you bearish signals and or about to give potential valid sell signals, which has been doing for an awful long time. An awful long time. So that's that. Do our 200 period moving average now slipping back below that important level. That's bad news for price action. The volatility then on these tiny time frames, not very reliable, potentially does move, but I wouldn't take much faith from it. It would just be because it's built up a lot of expectations. So you've got like touches of bullish divergence all along the bottom here, but you're constantly getting rejected at the center line, and you're always putting in hidden divergence at the top of every oscillation, which is really not good considering there could be a volatility spike. 30-minute time frame, everything could be negative. Is everything there? It's not in the bearish control zone, but it will be if it doesn't break up. It will be bullish divergence right now, so this is the last chance you've got. 30-minute time frame does that. Good. If it doesn't, it's going to come back down. Continuation, 15-minute time frame, anything exciting? Potential cross there. 200 period moving average is where? Back at resistance, 293. Needs to get back above these levels, 293, 290. That's an important level. It would be better off if it finished the day there. That would be ideal, and then keep going from that point onwards. But if I put this on, and then I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh no, oh the baby, right? Oh look, it's okay. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's great. No worry. Just eat your porridge, say your prayers, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Stay 3 healed JMEs, and it'll get better. How are you, Mr. Tradespawn? I am very good. What did you ask about Nvidia and what was the other one? Because, you know, it's Christmas, so charity week and whatnot. Home Depot. Still looking at them. Recovered 236. Holding the point of control. Not got much of a bottom information. Filled your gaps. 30 minutes. You're looking positive. Had your cross there. That's not bad. Best of 50 simple. It could take it 200, 323. That's not much of a move. 1 hour. 50, 200 period, holding it down, We've got 1 hour. If you do manage, right, it's holding it down. 200 period moving average, holding it down. Thanks very much. Right, out of the way. And 291. 291, it's still too much. Back. Now I'm back. What am I now? What's this? I'm not sure what this is. Spermazoa, maybe. No, don't want this. It's too much in my face. Oh. Right, so, you didn't do, thinking out loud. Yes, thinking out loud. Double bottom, potentially. Bullish divergence, nope. Reaction, no. Inverted head and shoulders, come back, double test that. Looks like a potential. Crab, maybe? Came back, tested that. 1, 2, bounce up, break your resistance, good. Lower term frame is alright. Above the 200, you had this move, broke out of that. That's not great. Stochastics moved down, but you didn't actually go down that far on price. So if RSI recovers the center line and this thing holds 315, it'll go again and it'll potentially try 350. Whoa, that'd be hilarious. We've got your cross there. Price action, if it holds that previous golden pocket 382, that's not bad. Gets back above 315. Did that. You know, so far it's done okay. I'm not, you know, weekly time frames bounced off the 200. Hard to argue with this chart. So you're looking for opportunities on this. They're likely on like after huge drops back down. Huge drops back down would be a blessing if you could get this at 150. More likely if it did get crushed, it comes to 233. If that's happening, I suppose you'd see it. You'd expect a number of rejections from the top side because of the like enduring bullishness of this for so very, 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 very long. You know, it's gone through all sorts of things. That was all he managed to do, and Corona was tested prior low, and so something similar here would be 235, 233. Does it look like that's happening? Maybe. Place to look to 200 period moving average on the weekly, that coming in at 260, getting there. Well, that's the move. From here to there, it probably is a move. 15 minutes. When's it starting? Is it starting? Cross there? Not right now. You know, this is okay at the minute. It's okay. I'd be looking for it to push higher and be weaker before it jumped out of it. But, you know, we'll see. If SPY turns around, then this is going down too. Jamie 5 misses. Jamie flashes on 5 minute time frame 1982 and 2042. Thank you, sir. Handout for Burrows. No worries. Paint corrector, sir. Gaps at 295, 275. Target to aim for. 295, 275. That's before these. That's after these. 314. So you break 314, you'll be aiming for 311. That doesn't hold. Whoops, a daisy. Yeah. 305. That's the next one. That doesn't hold. 301, 300. Top side of that gap is 394. Yeah. If you manage to rake it to what was it? It's not 394. 304 something. Yeah. 301. Break 301, then maybe your target, your first one. Anything else? Possibly two. Possibly two. Nice flash on GME 10 minute time frame at 2044, supporting that 5 minute flash. Too interesting. Interesting. Wonder if GME bounces between them flashes for a bit then. And SPY does hang about where it is. Not managing to break much below 378. If it does, 369 shall I lose beers. And if it managed to break to the top side, go mouth. Then that other target somebody just said. Chuppa 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 295, 275. Targets to aim for, that was on HD. Right, good. HD, Home Depot. This is where you put your home. It's a depository for your home. When you go on holiday, like a car park for your house. Spin this motherfucker. Great idea. Obviously, it's a great idea. As soon as it's been fought off, you wonder how it hadn't been fought off before. If you're looking for this to break back up again, right, some people will be come up tested 236 already at 319. Break that 200 period moving average 382, 200 period moving average, and a 382 at the same time. So that's a rejection and it's bearishly divergent. That's the entry for short position. You can just manage that trade towards your prior, so where you are now. And if it breaks down, follow it with stop and profit. That'd be like the sensible way to trade that breakdown. Or else wait for it to break those targets we spoke about and then jump in with a stop at them very close to the entry. BLDR might be worth checking for a great short opportunity. Don't know. Chat. Firestone, diddle. Builders. They're builders, are they? Are they building? What are they building? What it was tires. Not tires, it's different tires. Builders first source. Not Firestone. 56, 236, Golden Pocket. This thing's also not putting any dramatic, obvious shorting opportunity. Potential cross there. So like if you're choosing an individual company as opposed to an overall indice or some sort of a tracker, then you'd have reasons for that particular chart in that particular sector as opposed to any other company in that sector, which will also have a chart and likely perform similarly. So there'd be a reason for choosing this over the others, you know, which would likely then be derived from or connected to the reasons you have for your trade. You see that there underneath the camera here. So the reasons you have for your trade won't just be the trading strategy, unless such it's like have a risk and reward that will make sense, and you can see the trading strategy itself suggested by what's going on the charts, then cool, that'll be the reason. But some trading strategies, the most of them, don't have like a reason included. You know, it's like you have to add that yourself. I know it's to say open up the trade idea at Christmas and you're like, yes, and you run outside and it's not charged up already and you're like, what the fuck? But that's the lesson, isn't it? Gifted 1 memberships. Colin S gifted a membership and Martin Jones picked it up. Look at that. Legend. What brilliant, awesome. Thanks so much, Colin. Brilliant. Love it when I see that. And Martin Jones, congratulations. Great to see you again, sir. Congratulations. What brilliant moment. Thanks. Can you TA tops? I can look at tops. Fuck. So, says somebody, what, how did... Oh. Top ships, yo. So, right, how did you manage to get how did you choose them? How did you choose these top ships? This is hilarious. So, yeah, I mean, we can TA it. Of course we can, sir. Give it that just because, right? I mean, be generous, really. I'll work them with the things to look to later. Important stuff there, sir. Is there? Yeah, that one works. This guy down a bit. This guy, that worked perfect. And this bottom side of a gap there. Going to need another one. So I mean that's about it really. I suppose you need support then. Probably it would be typically you would find it also as resistance. So getting a couple more of those. And that's how you do the framework around your tickers. So there's some of the TA done on it. You know, you've got your important resistance levels above price action all drawn out now. They're the important ones. Those others that we can add in. Go with these extensions first. Say come in very close to like the maximum extension you could have expected from any sort of mostly sideways formation there in the breakdown. 3618 any further be a little bit much. So very bad news though. It's been very bad for price action. That's a 1.13 as well. 618 nearly, which matches up with this guy. So a little bit more. It could come down quite a bit more. And I wouldn't even think anything changed below 79 cents. Obviously, it would be back. That would be below $1 for the first time, which would be bad news that it managed to make it there, but there would likely be a reaction from 79 cents or so and give you, like, that might be the best trading move on this thing for 2023, might be that reaction from 79 cents up to whatever it is. You know, you get 100% off that, 78%, that made the biggest reliable trade going. In terms of a point of control, it coming in at 4, shut up. It's miles away, that's not relevant right now. 4 hour, you've got bullish divergence there though. But then, you know, you would expect DAX is breaking down so absolutely terribly. This low, obviously, nowhere near on RSI. Similarly, here, much lower in price action, right? Obviously, it keeps going down. RSI nowhere near as low. Price action way lower. 1, 2, 3 touches, 4 hour time frame. You could easily get a go on that. Like, to have a wee go on that. I mean, even take it from the next breakdown and say, where do I get confluence across the board? Here's 236 at 279. That's a huge percentage move. But bear in mind, it's currently breaking down and looks awful, right? Absolutely awful. 207 then, maybe, right? Still huge percentage move, but it looks so awful, like, it looks so awful. And then, ahead of that, if it, you know, 188, that's maybe more likely. 50 cents, it's already 30% on this thing. Don't know if that's happening right immediately. Things look like it's breaking down. It is breaking down. 2 hour, awful. As a gap then filled at 382, so that would be asking for anything above 240. It'd be a little bit much from here. Once it did start going through there, there's not all that much resistance. 200 period moving average golden pocket suggests 340. Top side of that move after that 440. It's tough though, tough. And I wouldn't be trading it off the back of that signature alone. I'd have to make some sort of a move. 1 hour time frame, what am I seeing? Nothing. Like that most recently being absolutely mauled there suggests it needs some time to recover. I mean, it's so totally and utterly mauled. What was that at? 437 down to 260. I mean, what? A gap of that much of a percentage of price action, right? That's like, you know, 2 weeks in hospital, right? Let's think about it, eh? Come on. So that's what we're thinking. We can do it. The T8. It suggests that this thing is in downward sloping trend on every single time frame. It's been in that forever, and it could potentially lose another 50% odd off price action or thereabouts, 45 to 50% before it presents you with a really good opportunity. It's already bullishly divergent and given some idea, so might happen. You never know. And it's your old legend. Boom, 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 boom. Just got a notification in Nichiro. Colin S. gifted a bun, and Nichiro was there. Yo! And Nichiro. Why did it say James? Martin Jones. This is just, that is Martin Jones. I don't understand. Maybe that was before. No, there's gifted below. There it was. Guest sweet. There it was. Hello. It happened twice. See, I didn't even think that was possible. Wow, what a great show it's been. Thanks so much, legends. Legend Colin. That was great. And John G put in a sticker earlier, so that's appreciated too. Let me just double check that. Did I manage to see everything? Yeah, John D did that. Thanks. Great to see you, sir. Brilliant. And I also see there that Vic Vince's membership 20-month streak. I think that's and Julian A. That's it. Who's got more than that? Nobody. Trace Point, mind taking a look at BYND. Bring your own nerd day. Bring your own nerd day. This massive opportunities. Some massive, massive opportunities, sir. Glad you brought it up because it's a massive opportunity, sir. So as we talk about this on Sploshing, this is a rounded bottom. Ish. Kind of is. And, oh, well, I mean, it's 1 hour time frame. Well, as small as it is meaningful, you got your... no, that's just a round bomb. Nothing exciting happening here. Looks like... probably. Like a bat. And then... and then, yeah, so that would be your target. Fair enough, you've got a cross there. Price action came back, tested that cross in the 1 hour. Yes, that's interesting. This thing couldn't explode at back up again. where would I most like to take it from? Either it breaking back above 1550 and then like ideally it would go on through the 1683 236 and these highs at $17 and change and whatnot. I could take it here and have a stop immediately, because if it broke below that again, I wouldn't think that this was breaking off then. Having especially touched above it 3 times with higher lows and whatnot, I'd be expecting it, if it did go through here, to go again. So I mean, I'd try and take it from 15 above and see how that worked out. There's a potential cross here holding it down yet. 50 simple continues with the price action you'll see this prior low at 1276, and after that you're looking for it to test the ultimate low at 1157. Still could be on for a good move there, because, you know, a reaction from this one test of the support within this formation having broken out of it, that would be even better than the rounded bottom on itself. So, you know, I wouldn't rule it out, but I would wait for the move to either break up or come back down to the lows and test support again. 2 hour time frame, 50 simple back above 200. Price action rejection then looks a little bit negative. It needs to start recovering on the 2 hour. And any recovery now would then, if it did go back above 15, I think start getting something exciting. 200 period moving average on the 4 hour. That's below the 382 at 1891. So testing 1683, first pass at that level might slow price it. I would anticipate slowing it down a wee bit, but I still want it to go on through there and test these prior highs and break them. Daily time frame, you get back above a 382, you're also back above the prior levels. Level of support at $20, and after that, huge moves on the cards potentially for this thing. Whoops. Is there not flashes all over it too? Like, I'll turn it on. I've had it off for most of the show there because, like, oh my goodness, because you know, you can get a flash yourselves, fellas, lads and ladies. You can get that flash yourself at www.rockyoutcrop. No. I always do that. It's patreon.com/rockyoutcrop. And it's the indicator tier, which you also get access to the Discord, and you get everything I do as well, which should include a link to all of my charts. Soon. 5 day. Why am I jumping on 5 day anyway? Just go browsing the flashes. Daily time frame, interesting. What's going on? So, like, that was a volume control level around 1434. 1434, well, you're considerably away from it at the minute. A little wick there. Not massively a fan of that amount of wick. 4 hour. Aye, right at that point of control. Break above that, end of the day, push towards 1380. That'd be a very good sign. Right, so we're coming back down. Where's the flashes? There's not huge, crazy flashes on this thing. So is that actually, no, that brings me, that's something else. That was another thing. Oh, jeez, there's so many amazing potential trades that are about to happen. Can he go all in on all of them? I wish my dentist did that. Listen to TA while getting teeth done. Who did that? Bro, I'm at the dentist and they played your live channel while I was getting my G teeth cleaned. That's such a coincidence. You see, this is it, right? Some people say they're big in Japan. I've got the look, I've got the clothes, I've got the face. Dentists love me. I love dentists. We get on so well that they know that their own clients will take better care of their teeth hearing me. Actually, when I get excited, just being near me cleans your teeth. So dentists love me, man. I love dentists. They're amazing. Dentists are perhaps the world's greatest gift. They're amazing. And all dentists should have me on in their waiting room all the time. Also, when they're doing anything on people's teeth, of course. This is like, everybody knows this. The new dentists coming through get taught this at Dentist University. So if you're not doing that and you're slightly more mature dentist, then don't get caught out, right? Get trace button on the big screen. Ape stuck at 69 cents. That's a good place to get stuck if you're going to get stuck. John G. OP. 3 hour flash on BYND. I got taken away from BYND. Or did I? Am I still on it? I'm still on it. Calm down, Sputter. There's a 3 hour flash. There's also a 1 hour flash. At 34.55. Where's your 3 hour flash? Let's check this out. That's like an 886 retracement of this breakdown. You've got a rounded bottom here, and that's like, looks, whoa. This is like, whoa. There's the 886 there. Is that from this low here, though? Or did I do that some other time? I drew that some other time. Get out my face this one then. I mean, it was useless for something, but I'm not needing it anymore, so bye. Right, so this 886, this is this guy. can't actually see. Somewhere around there though. And this did him. Somewhere around there. 236. Matches up. 86. That's just beyond it. Just beyond it. So, you know, I mean, all this moves still looks on. I mean, even if price actually went down, this is not the way you use Fibonacci's. You know, you've seen Rich Drocky do this and point out not to do this because it's not the way you do Fibonacci's. But, you know, if you were looking for that move to get back to that level, it's still not off. It's not off until price action drops another 50% or something, you know, and that's like a warning as well because we're not actually trending in that direction yet. So, you know, there's no guarantees. No guarantees. But that's interesting. And because it's yourself, Vic, sir. And if you're looking at Beyond Meat, you might also be interested in this. Check this out. Check this out. This is the sort of thing you would reserve for us blushing. It's so good because it's yourself, Vic, and because I am Tammy. Thou art not. I am Tammy, the purest of nuns. You think you're a pure nun? Come at me. I'm well more pure nun than you are, nun person. I put out a challenge to all nuns that are alive today or dead. I am more pure of thought than all of you. I challenge you, nuns. This is it, right? Me and the nuns, we can do it whichever way you want. We can do it. You can even nominate a champion to fight me in a cage. Anything. Prove your valor, nuns. Let's go. You know, and don't come back to me all like, oh, it's against the... No, I've seen what you're like. Let's do it, nuns. Right, so 1 hour time frame. Anyway, I'm taking over. 1 hour time frame. There's a flash on this. Am I hitting keys on the keyboard? I am. And it's bringing up multi-field. Why are you doing that, computer? Why are you bringing these guys up? This looks brutal. Why are you bringing this up, computer? I'm compelled to investigate now. Because the nuns maybe made this happen, you see. Well, if they made that happen, they'd be manipulating price. Holy sugars, those nuns are quite good. Anyway, get this off my screen. What is like? We're on the Oatly. Hey, this is it. Oops. Stop clicking the wrong thing, Spotter. Also, though, I mean, hey, the nuns are on my side. They appreciated it. See? So there's people out there feeling personally offended on behalf of the nuns. And there's no need because they themselves have communicated how much they appreciate it. Oh, I see John G's the only person left in chat then. I see everyone's gone. That was an nun joke. So that's what that does for you. Tradefone, mind a quick check on the VRM? Your calls are getting nervous. Vroom, yeah. The car market, isn't it tough? Vroom, vrooms. The car market, everything involved in automobiles is tough at the minute. I'll definitely have a look at it, but I wanted to just quickly do this, and nuns are not going to stop me. The daily time frame is 236. That's maybe what you're targeting. That would be 273, and then on the 1 hour time frame, we can see the flash is in around 268. So potentially you're moving there. 236 on this guy. 200 period moving average. Short time frames. Golden pockets to look to. Obviously support and resistance, and 886 matching up. But this looks like a potentially really good trade, and if it works out, maybe you're in a trade that keeps going. Going, you see. So this is like a free one for everybody's this part of the show. There's 2 hour, that's what I'll pay attention to. Like, and look at that, man. The way they come in, the order of them, and then the way you can measure this with the bullish divergence. And if Beyond Meat moves, Oatly's moving. So there's one, right? Beat that, nuns. Beat that, nuns. Look what I just did for everybody today. That was a bigger gift than most nuns have done for people today. Isn't that true? You see the nuns, right? You got a big respect for the nuns. Because they're out doing a lot of stuff to help people, like as much as they can, trying to help people, the nuns. And like they never go on strike. They've literally never gone on strike, right? As much as you might say, yes, but TradeSpotter, they help speak to Castro and liaise with the commies. And they do it all over the place. And I'd say, yeah, but they're not on strike. And you'd say, yeah, but like look at the good things they do. They give up so much, right? Like, no, I'm not talking about like bodily desires. They give up so much of potential opportunity for their own lives, for other people, just out of like generosity. I say, aye, but they didn't give you a trade like this today, did they? I mean, did they? No, they didn't. So what did I miss? I had Komodo Dosh. It was VRM, the car market. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Financing in the car market's a nightmare. A lot of opportunity. Like, see, this is the thing. Everyone's like, oh well, I'm. It gets down to this is a question you'll hear people say, like it's less than a buck, right? So people will be like, yeah, I think it's going to zero, and it's like, well, sure, maybe it does go to zero, but like long in advance of it going to zero, it's probably going to go to flash. That's what I would say. Like, they're all like this is what happens when people get emotional, right? And they don't understand because they're not aware of the emotions creeping up on them. And by the time that it's happened, they're way, way so far down that line they can never understand what's happening. So, for example, they'd be talking about there's lots of flashes on the Oatly there. Those look nice. It's very nice. Yes, the Oatly flashes are crazy. Yes, Komodo Dash, you love those Oatly flashes. Komodo Dash. I mean, he's not even a Komodo Dash. He's a Kumo, but and so he'll eat you. And so that's it, right? Is it going to zero? Well, I mean, I don't care, right? These people are having an emotional argument about trades they've had in the past, which they're talking about whether they're in them or not. That's why they're having that conversation. Really, I don't care. And does it have any effect on my trades? Like, well, if it's going to go to zero at some point, I'll be aware of that. But it was back here on November the 7th. It was doing worse than it is now. So that's something. With regard to those emotional conversations, when people are worried about zeros. And then 1.6, what was your calls? $2. This is on a 4-hour time frame for year. So let me just check. Where trades one VRM $2 January 2023. Well, I mean, yeah, your January 2023 callers, that they may well get a little bit nervous. January 2023, huh? Daily flashes all over the shop. That expiry is not very far away, obviously. 200 period moving average is below that first flash at 151. I mean, depending on where you got the calls at, like either intrinsic, extrinsic value, whatnot. I'm not sure. Well, obviously, it's your position and whatnot, but this target isn't unheard. Like, that's still not even in the bearish control zone. 4 hour, if you've got any boost divergence, bit of it. I'd like to see more on the 1 hour. Am I seeing it? Not really. It's a bit weak. Also, the spread's not very good there. 30 minutes. Like, the currency's had such bad news recently. Yeah, so I can see why they get nervous. Oh, back. I can see why they get nervous. Because it's coming up short-term expiry. I'd be looking for any quick pumps to shift them off. If I was you, sir. Certainly would be. And then maybe you want, I don't know, or roll them over. Maybe you wait till there's a pump and then roll them over. If you can see a strike that's got high enough liquidity on it to be worth your while and far enough away, if you're thinking about these flashes still. Well, of course, that's not financial advice. I would be looking to anything that's expiring that quickly. I would be looking to move it on. No sorts on $2 strike sometime around March for Oatly. Well, my thoughts are depends if what's the open interest like at that particular strike price, and why are you choosing March? And what's the call put ratio in around those times, and then like let's do something else with it and see like about the the relevant and tighter trades in around those dates too. And then March is still like not all that far away, not like 3 months. That's not all that far away. And do you necessarily want a $2 call? I mean, that's something like Komodo has got at $2 strike. Maybe that's why you were thinking $2, but why do you picking $2? Like that's relevant, because the way options are priced and the fact that time decay and that there's an awful lot of opportunity just best around picking up the right strike. Which hasn't got all that much to do with where price might actually go. Obviously, it would have to be in the right direction, but doesn't necessarily have to reach those areas. So why is your strike at $2? Which is what I'd ask you. Which is all the questions, and there's loads of other questions I'd ask you because your quest didn't come in the format of ticker, time frame, entry, stop, target, and reasons for the trade. So there's millions of questions I have for you, which will also make Cosmos doing well. Yes, Rocky. We were talking about the very Christmassy ticker there. What was a Cosm Cocktails for Cosmo Christmas cocktails, Cosms. Trace button and 14.31 on 3 hour early. You're telling me. So, but why your $2 strike, Colin? This is what I'd ask you. Why'd you pick 2? And then you'd be like, well, despite all the things you just said, and you're making me type it out. And I'd say, yeah. All right. So Rocky gave up smoking. So, and he did it, right? He's done it. I mean, you only have to do it for a number of weeks and it's done. He's done it. Well done, him. Congratulations. You're doing everything you can to get healthy. I'm so proud of him. Well done. So I'm going to give up 2. Just like Sick Boy does to renting. He's like, oh, you're giving it up? I'll just do it as well, just to show you that you can. But no, I was in moral support in that because Rocky's doing it. I should do it too. And if I'm going, it's the best time ever. So I've decided to do it too. So there it is. I've never done it. That's it. Not smoking again. Boom. Easy. Especially when I got one of these things. Thoughts on $2 strike, tab-a-dab. That's what my thoughts are. Cause them. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Ha! That's them. That's the bar. They're illegally using my garden to do their dirty work, like empty the bottles and shit like that. It's a fucking nightmare. Can't stop them. They're really obnoxious. Could make their life difficult though. Which sometimes, maybe that's what I was really looking for. Maybe that's what I go out of my way looking for, opportunities like that, really. Maybe that's the truth. Maybe that is the truth. 236 1266. Come back there. It's going to go way back more than that. It did already. It's wait a minute. How did that still stay green? Oof. Eh? You got a flashback down here at 1 spot 84. That's brutal. Oh my goodness. Boom, boom, boom. Positive candle there in 1 hour time frame. Overall, this is not managing to break above these prior highs. You have got a huge gap to look to. This actually, looks like the gaps in here, right? You would think, oh, this is a gap. But no. Actually, this is a gap. Stopped here. And then it opened here. And it filled up to here. And that was it. So this is a huge gap. Also, there's a flash at 184, which is way down. Where is that? Here. So, huge moves on this thing. If it is going to this level, you would ideally be entering in around these highs for shorts all the way down. And if it's going to go up to this prior high here, then that'll be on holding the formation, which it's got going at the minute, and these moving averages on the 1 hour time frame, likely, or at least coming back from any test of this level. And if that doesn't hold, a short would look good. You could take it on a break of this, break of here, or obviously back up here and along from those levels ideally, or the center line. But asking for much more than that, don't know. 4 hours says there's a flashback down there. Be anticipating it getting there. Daily time frame, we're at the 200 period moving average previously and got a rejection from it after all this hard work, and then a reaction and it only getting there and rejected so much already. I'd expect more periods of volatility from this thing and not breaking any support or resistance that's on those extremes. I would expect it to test this low as well before breaking, which would suggest that flash is on before it breaks the 200 again on the daily. So I would suggest that maybe your best trades are from 15 down on this thing. Paint corrector, stop donating, paint corrector. We already had this connection. To BLA, no TA, just when you look, please and thanks. Mm-hmm. This is a nightmare. This is like the bull flag. Some people will be hoping this is a bull flag that holds that 50 simple at 247, and on that most recent, like the next test of it, then breaks back above 288, which would suggest it's potentially a bull flag that would be confirmed above 323, and you'd be looking for a move to 484. But that's not going to happen. it's going to come into the gap once it's started. There's no resistance. It's going to hit the flash and then go on. The prior high from the previous formation is at the 50 simple. But that won't close the gap, so it will be breaking important technical artifacts in order to fill a gap, which it's going to do. So on the daily time frame, and doing it will be completely bearish, along with a terrible, awful rejection at the 200 period moving average on the daily time frame, and it'll be brutal and it'll be terrible, and people will be swarming around this thing. 2 hours, there's a flashback up at 307. That's the top side of this formation, so potentially it is a bull flag. That's the next place to target. That breaking above that would be significant. This stage, and without any other information, I'd be saying that's the target, if anything long. The low side of this range, if you are getting there in advance of coming down and filling the gap, then this is the entry. It's at 244 and your stop is at 238. Target is that. And it's not financial advice, and I actually think the better trade is waiting until it gets there, waiting for it to be obviously bearish and then targeting it, fill that gap, or targeting that flash after it's come in and filled this gap, put in sort of a bullish formation, suggest some sort of bottom. It's not happened yet, especially not making this move with this gap in the middle of it. That's brutal. So daily suggests that you could find support back down here, not completely fill the gap at 209, and then do it over a period of time. Again, costing a lot of time and opportunity costs, so I'd be worried about this chart. A little bit dodgy. Also, it's like permanent downtrend since it's not been around all that long, so I'd be cautious, very cautious. Fixed little bit of retracement because we haven't seen much volatility there. You know, that's what this is. This is a straight up volatility measure of fear and greed. This is how volatile fear and greed is. That's what VIX stand for. So yep, that's that. Fantastic. Thanks. You're welcome. Very welcome. My nuns. Well, can't be your dad. That'd be impossible. Thoughts on two-layer strikes sometime in March? That was yourself, Colin. Yes. My thoughts are $2 strike with a call. Maybe. See, the way Oatley's working, when it hits these high targets, and it's not financial advice, you know, it hits these high targets, it may well have put in inflection points along the way. So, you know, rather than trading the whole move, or even the, you know, the direction of the move itself, it might just be the retracements, catching them and taking it back to previous support or where the resistance would be. So like watching the move happen and then catching it after a retrace and then getting back out when it gets back to the place it broke down from. And doing that over and over and over might be better. You can do that with option contracts, buying puts that are short-term expiry, and then you can make so much more than trading the trend. But like, it is trading the trend, it's just not holding the position in the same direction. But anyway, whatever. So that's the information. I appreciate it, Straight Day. Thank you very much, Dodge. You're welcome. Thanks for TA, Cosm. I didn't ask for it, but thanks, lol. I bought 10 shares at 7 for the lulz. A 7 for the lulz. This is VIX, not Cosm. Well, I can't remember what it was, so I hope it goes back to 7 and more, sir, because you're such a lovely chat, Froglad. And you're here for so very long, and I appreciate you so very, very much. So I hope so. What else did I miss? Paint corrector 147. Thank you very much. Remember when you're putting in super chats, if you do it from your iPhone, Apple takes 30%, and then YouTube take 40%. So that's 70% of it gone. So say, for example, you donated 100 quid via an iPhone. I'd not get 30. I'd not even get 30 off it. So if you were intending for me to get 100, don't do it via your iPhone. You know, and try, if you do it, then do it via, you can do it for your iPhone, but just do it via the link, the streamelements.com/tip1/tip or the streamlabs.tip1 in the description, where nobody steals all the fees. It's nasty. Like, fees, just fees. And you're like, how'd you get 70% fees before tax? How'd you get that? When it's me making all the content and all they do is, like, what do? Like, they like restrict it. That's essentially what they do. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm not getting into that thought because it doesn't go anywhere positive. So that's what I was thinking, though, for pointing it out. Thanks for everybody who supports the stream. That's appreciated. Paint corrector, and Colin buying memberships for people. 2 of them. Thank you very much, Colin. Total legend. Martin Jones, welcome. Nichiro, legend. Both of you is legend. John G, couple of stickers there. Thank you very much. So everybody helping me keep going. Thanks very much. Hope the show's been good. And if you've got any other questions, I forget I'm on the stream when I cover my face up with this. Not really in none. This is me, Dre's Button, this whole time. Right? Crazy stuff. Hit that like button.